Okay. Alright guys, we're gonna do it now. Time to go. Okay, Zandy, say bye Daddy's hair.
Bye Daddy's hair.
Bye bye. I'm scared. I'm scared.
There's nothing good off, Daddy.
There's what?
There's nothing good off, Daddy.
Just cutting it off? Alright.
You love it, Dada?
You love it?
Yep. Okay. You wanna do it?
Now you do it.
Alright, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Whoa! Whoa!
It's gonna be a mess.
Ah!
Now, another circle away.
My hair's running away.
Yeah.
Well, I did it.
You can do it. You did it, Dada. You did
I
it.
shaved my head.
Now the circle gone now.
All gone now. Little update for you guys. Starting to grow on me more and more for sure, getting used to it. Also just wanted to mention going to the gym, you know, really helps. So it's definitely starting to grow on me. Everyone likes it. I'm getting positive feedback. And some of my fears, you know, worrying about what some of my clients would think about it and stuff. I've been told that they want to shave their head too. Started pretty young for me. It's stayed pretty much the same since I was 19. I was a pretty confident dude at that age, you know. I was come from a small surfy town, you know, long blonde hair, pretty smooth with the women, had confidence in myself. And a few comments, and I didn't even pay any attention. Like, yeah, looks like you're losing your hair. Cool, whatever. Like, I don't care. You know, that didn't really affect me, and I kind of got on with it. Comments from my mother, comments from girls that I was interested in. It's like, yeah, cool, whatever. Just at the front, just
Right.
like this McDonald's sign, as you'd call it. People would make comments. I didn't care. You know, and I could start to see it in some photos, you know, coming out of the water or skateboarding and sweating, but didn't really affect me that much. And then I broke both my wrists and I had surgery on both my wrists. So a year of a lot of times inside by myself.
Right.
And that's when I started to notice, and all this time by myself, to just start panicking
Right.
about it, you know,
Like, what were your kind of thoughts? Did you think like,
turning into a disaster, a lack of confidence. One night that it actually hit me, I think it was my 22nd birthday, and we went for a boys' trip away, and we were in a nightclub, and security guard says, hey mate, you've got to take your hat off. You can't wear your hat in here. And I thought, why do I want to wear my hat so bad? Why is this affecting me? And so, oh, that's why. That's when it kind of hit me, 22nd birthday. Like, this is a problem. And I remember even thinking, I'm probably not going to do so good with the girls tonight because I don't have confidence in myself. I noticed that I was using this hat, and it was affecting me mentally. And then, you know, it just affected me for a couple of years there, not doing so well with girls, letting it get to me, you know?
Yeah.
I've got this image of who I am, this cool surfer dude, and that's just getting torn away from me, I guess. Always keeping the hat on, friends starting to notice, not wanting to go for a swim in the ocean,
Okay,
you know,
right.
because you got to take the hat off. And I kind of sat in that and stayed in that bad place. You know, my friends, you know, were young at the time, so friends trying to rip my hat off because they know they're going to get a reaction out of me. And I kind of sat in that bad period for a year or two. I moved to Canada, where I live now, you know, lived in that negative place, you know, even new work people ripping me apart a little bit, and, you know, not something that you like to associate with, you know, it's a form of weakness, I guess, and
Yeah.
not something nice to live with. Mental health kind of went down a bit, and it was getting bad, you know, it was getting to a point where I didn't even want to go outside. I didn't want to go surfing, any bit of wind, as most people
Really?
going through this relate.
Yeah.
And I ended up shaving it at 25. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. Still
Yeah.
pretty young, still accepting it. And then, you know, in my mind, the best time where I felt good in myself was when I had hair. It's like, okay, I can't associate feeling good and bald together. I'm going to grow my hair back. So had on, went to the same, you know, 6 months later, I've been on top, shaved on sides. and rocked that for the next 5 years.
Was kind of like, the transplant, the medication, were these things like ever a real consideration for you?
I would never do a hair transplant. I definitely changed my diet. I definitely bought a derma roller, all that kind
Okay,
of stuff.
right.
It takes time. That stuff takes time. It's negative time as well. It's not, I'm a surfy dude. Surfy dudes don't spend 30 minutes doing a hair routine every morning. So maybe I dabbled with that stuff a bit, but it wasn't for me.
Okay.
It wasn't for me.
So deep down, I guess you knew that at some point you really did want to try to just accept it, put it past you,
Yes.
like rock it, own it. But it's obviously deciding that doesn't automatically make it an easy thing to do, right? Which is kind of why this channel exists, to be honest. It's
Yes.
like,
I had a hard time letting go of this image I had of myself and what I was. For years, I got to a point where I'm okay with it. I'd be lying to myself if I'm not thinking about it. There's definitely, even if it's not as much time as I used to spend, I'm still spending time having anxiety about this and worrying about it.
yeah,
So that's what, small amount the last few years until the last few months. I got to a point where I thought it actually looks pretty good. Like, I think it looks good on other men. So why am I spending time on this stuff? Let it go. And I just thought, screw it, do it now. What's the difference of doing it in 6 months or a year? Am I going to keep thinking about these things or am I just going to do it? Some
well,
other anxieties I have, even about shaving it, which is silly and just in my mind, but I want to share because
please do, man.
something
Yeah,
that I dealt with.
yeah,
So I have a side business. I do skate lessons. What are these parents going to think of me? I'm losing my youth. Is this going to affect my business? Which is absolutely crazy to think, as if it's going to affect that. But these are definitely still thoughts that I had come into my mind. I did it that night because I was talking to a buddy who's bicked his head, telling me to do it, telling me to do it. And it's like, yeah, why not? What's the difference of doing it right now or doing it in 6 months or doing it in 2 years? There's no difference. Just get it done. Get it done. I can come up with these excuses, grow your beard a little bit. I can come up with these excuses, get your fancy razor. Or I can just do it now and just deal with it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I did it to help me do it. I just imagined if one of the other dads that's got a spot on the back of his head, I just imagined if he did it, what I would think. And I wouldn't think much of it. So
Really good
no
chatting to
worries.
you, dude. Really appreciate it. Shout out to your
Cool.
family. Shout out to all of that good stuff, man. And wish you nothing but the best. All right, we'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Thank you, Harry.